Welcome to a world where man-made boundaries disappear and nature writes its own laws. Today, we will journey to Madagascar, an island often associated with unique nature and exotic creatures. But behind these vivid images lies much more: ancient history, mysterious traditions, and secrets that may change your perception of the world. Why does this island, despite its remoteness and natural wealth, remain one of the most enigmatic and impoverished corners of the planet? How are its landscapes, legends, and ancient rituals connected to the fate of an entire people? And what is truly hidden behind the legends of pirate treasures and myths of ancient rulers? In this video, we will unveil the mysteries that make Madagascar not just an island in the Indian Ocean, but a true treasure trove of enigmas and discoveries. But be cautious. What you learn may forever alter your perception of this place. Ready to dive into the secrets hidden in the heart of this unique world? Then let's proceed. And the first chapter will reveal to you the astonishing nature and geographical uniqueness of Madagascar. Madagascar is not just an island located in the depths of the Indian Ocean. It is a place that holds thousands of mysteries, long-forgotten legends, and natural wonders that continue to amaze and astonish anyone who dares to step onto its land. Many perceive it as a distant, detached corner, a quiet island with rare animal species and palm trees swaying under the tropical sun. But behind this stereotype lies something much deeper, much more mysterious. Madagascar is a unique universe, filled with history that begins long before our time, and a culture that, like an ancient scroll, preserves evidence of glorious eras and dark secrets. This island, the fourth largest in the world, occupies a significant portion of the Indian Ocean, like a giant mosaic carpet stretching for hundreds of kilometers. Its contours are winding, sometimes seeming like endless lines cutting through water and sky. Despite its impressive size, Madagascar is one of the least populated islands, and its natural wealth and biodiversity are true treasures that analysis shows are unique on the planet. Its entire surface is a living map of evolution, where every plant, every animal, is a testament to millennia of changes and natural experiments conducted by nature itself in seclusion. The history of this place is a weave of legends and facts. In the 15th century, when European sailors first spotted its silhouette on the horizon, Madagascar was already rich with its own myths and traditions. Its shores then served as a refuge for pirates and sea robbers, whose legends are still whispered among the winds and waves. It was ruled by ancient kingdoms that left behind complex rituals, mysterious ceremonies, and enigmatic monuments hidden in the jungles and on mountain peaks. Centuries later, Europeans reached it, as they did many other corners of Africa, with dreams of wealth and treasures. In the 19th century, Madagascar became a French colony, and its history took on new shades of struggle, resistance, and the search for national identity. In 1958, it became an independent state, but its legacy is not only political struggle, but also a wealth of traditions that live on to this day. The culture of Madagascar is a kaleidoscope where traditions, languages, and rituals intertwine. Here, every celebration is a spectacle, every ceremony a living testament to ancient rites. One such is the ceremony of Fadina, a unique ritual where relatives gather to honor the departed, express gratitude, and find harmony. In every movement, in every gesture of this rite, there is deep meaning rooted in antiquity. Its sounds, smells, and colors create an atmosphere where the past and present merge, and traditions are passed down from generation to generation, like a living heritage guarded by winds and time. Yet within these traditions lie not only beauty and richness, but also contradictions. Why, despite its remoteness and wealth of natural resources, does Madagascar remain one of the poorest corners of the world? Why has this land, filled with natural wonders, failed to provide a decent life for its people? This question is the center of our research, and it is like an ancient cipher that requires not only analysis of facts, but also immersion into the very essence of the situation. For behind the wealth of flora and fauna lie problems: poverty, corruption, social inequality, corrupt chains severing the connection between nature and humanity. History still holds evidence that this island is not only a place to find rare animals and unique plants, but also a place where the spirit of struggle for the future lives. Numerous myths and legends continue to be passed down orally, creating a mysterious aura around Madagascar. Among them are stories of treasures hidden in the jungles, ancient ciphers concealed in ruins, and ancestral spirits guarding the land. All this serves as a reminder that this island is not just a geographical point on the map, but a living organism filled with history that is still not fully revealed. What awaits the viewer in the future? What secrets still lurk in the shadows of the forests and on the mountain peaks? What new discoveries await scientists, travelers, and adventurers? Every corner of Madagascar has its own story, its secrets, its mysteries, and anyone who dares to come closer will feel how the land itself whispers its ancient secrets, how the winds tell legends of the past and future. In this place, where nature and culture are intertwined into a single whole, lies the key to understanding not only the island's remarkable history, but also a reflection of the very essence of human struggle for survival, for meaning, and for the future. But what truly makes Madagascar unique? Why does it deserve your attention? The answer lies in its mystery, its contradictions, and its incredible beauty. In every corner of this island, secrets are hidden that can change your perception of the world, making you realize that even in the most remote corner of the planet lives a soul full of strength, dreams, and hopes. Madagascar is not just an island, it is a living testament to history, nature, and human destiny. And perhaps, within its mysteries and enigmas, lies a key part of our own answers. On the world map, there is a place that seems torn from the general context, as if forgotten by God in his boundless generosity: Madagascar. It is an island whose scale and nature hold evidence of ancient times, captured in every curve of the terrain, in every scent of the damp tropical forests, and in every rustle of the wind sweeping across its shores. Its vast surface area exceeds 600,000 square kilometers, comparable to the size of Ukraine or Kenya. Enormous, boundless, it stretches from the northern shores to the southern, from west to east, like a giant ship stranded in the ocean, or an ancient guardian protecting its secrets. The coastline of Madagascar is not just a contour on a map. It is a living organism, filled with the sounds of waves, the rustling of mangrove thickets, and the cries of tropical birds. More than 5,000 kilometers of shores are covered with coral reefs, like living paintings, preserving legends of sea monsters and sunken treasures. In places, they delve inland into mangrove thickets, where branches intertwine into complex labyrinths, and the scent of decaying bark and sea salt fills the air. In these places, you listen to the rhythm of nature, to its constant struggle for existence, to its eternal movement. The main island itself is not just a mass of land, it is a legend. Its name translates as Big Red Island, and not without reason. In its heart, among dense tropical forests and rugged mountain ranges, the hue of blood, sunset glows, and ancient rocks prevails. The diversity of landscapes is its feature, its gift, and its curse. In some regions, tropical forests are teeming with the sounds of living creatures. In others, deserts, where the wind carries dust and the scent of dry earth. And in the mountains, an ongoing struggle for survival, where stone meets tree and height meets wind, which seems to try to carry all living things into the unknown. The highest point, Mount Marama, is a peak to which legends aspire, over 800 meters above sea level. This is not just a geographical mark. It is a symbol that nature here is relentless, that it has created a complex system where every peak and every valley is evidence of ancient processes, captured in stone and in the memory of the people. The average height of the island, about 400 meters, indicates that even in its heart, there is a struggle for balance, for equilibrium between the humidity of the tropics and the dryness of the deserts, between rich forests and bare slopes. But how did it happen that such contrasts formed on this relatively small island? Why did its natural factors, climate, relief, geology, create such a palette of landscapes so rich and complex? Analysis shows that Madagascar's unique location and geological history have made it a true natural experiment. For centuries, it has been on the edge of two oceans. Its land has experienced continental collisions, volcanic eruptions, and glaciations. As a result, diverse soils and climatic zones have formed, creating conditions for the emergence of unique ecosystems. What natural factors shape this kaleidoscope of landscapes? First and foremost, the relief. The mountains stretching across the island create microclimatic zones, protecting some areas from dryness, making others favored habitats for tropical species. Constant ocean winds bring moisture and freshness to some parts, while others face drought and heat. The influence of ocean currents determines the diversity of temperatures and humidity, and geological processes occurring over centuries have formed mineral-rich soils that nourish plants, which in turn feed countless animal species. Yet, the main conflict that arises is the question of the interaction between natural factors and biodiversity. How do these often contradictory factors create unique living conditions? Why do some areas become paradisiacal while others turn into deserts? Analysis shows that it is the struggle between altitude and humidity, between dryness and abundance of water, between volcanic eruptions and erosion that creates the complex fabric of nature that makes Madagascar unique. This place is not just a point on the map, it is a living, breathing organism where each part is a testament to the struggle for survival, for development, for evolution. Its natural factors are inextricably linked with the history of its inhabitants, with their legends and traditions, with their understanding of this world as sacred, bestowed by a deity. And why does this nature make Madagascar a paradise for researchers and tourists? Because here, every stone, every leaf, every sound is a testament to ancient processes, witnesses of evolution, holding mysteries and secrets. Here, the breath of time is felt, its power and grace are sensed. This is a place where natural power merges with human history, where every step is an immersion into legend, every breath a reminder that nature and humanity are an inseparable whole. Madagascar is not just an island. It is a living temple of nature, where every stone, every leaf tells its story, and every legend is evidence that this uniqueness makes it a true paradise on Earth. In the heart of the Indian Ocean, among vast expanses, lies a land that holds secrets hidden from human eyes. Madagascar is not just an island. It is a living, pulsating organism, filled with the richness of flora and fauna, which, like precious gems, are hidden within its unique nature. And it is these treasures, these testimonies of evolution and survival, that transform Madagascar into a place where every plant, every creature, is a separate story, a separate legend, a separate proof of the power and beauty of life. Imagine, more than 90% of all the plants and animals on this island are endemics. They are found only here, on this tiny patch of land surrounded by the vast ocean. Such a phenomenon is unseen in other tropical regions. Here, nature has created its own universe, where each species is a testament to a long, arduous, and astonishing history of isolation. In Madagascar, the usual species found in most places do not exist, because their evolution proceeded separately, governed only by their own laws. This is a place where geographical isolation has led to the emergence of unique forms of life, unparalleled anywhere else on the planet. And these facts are not just numbers or dry data. They are evidence of how nature, in its infinite creative impulse, has created an organism in which every creature is an important note in the symphony of life. Let's immerse ourselves in this living world. Imagine, among the dense, bright green leaves, where it seems that time has stopped, lemurs hide, the symbol of this island, its living emblems. Their eyes are like ancient mysteries. Their movements are rhythms to which all nature is attuned. More than 100 species of lemurs, each with its own story, its own voice, and its own purpose. Some of them are masters of climbing ancient trees, like shadows in the twilight. Others are quiet hunters, hiding in the bushes to avoid extinction. They are witnesses to millennia-old legends, passed down from generation to generation. Their existence is a challenge to time, a challenge to human irresponsibility, a challenge to those who do not understand the value of this unique heritage. But lemurs are just the tip of the iceberg. In their shadow, other amazing species are hidden. Poisonous frogs of bright, almost glowing colors seem like living tiny fireworks. Their skin is not just a bright color, but a dangerous weapon that protects them from enemies, and a testament to how nature has learned to turn threat into defense. Chameleons, masters of disguise, change the color and texture of their skin like wizards living on the edge of illusion and reality. And the giant rat is perhaps one of the most amazing and controversial figures in this chain of life. It is evidence of how survival and adaptation turn even the most unremarkable forms into crucial links in the ecological chain. These species are not just exotic. They are living proofs of the power of evolution, its endless ability to amaze and inspire. And, of course, the plants should be mentioned. Madagascar is rich not only in animals but also in plants, true medicines of nature. Many species possess healing properties, passed down from generation to generation by local residents. Their scents, textures, colors are not only aesthetics, but also potential for medicine, for finding new treatments, for saving lives. These plants are not just decorations of the forests, they are living testimonies of ancient knowledge hidden behind centuries, legends, and traditions. They are proof that nature not only creates beauty, but also holds the keys to health and longevity. But why? Why is Madagascar's biodiversity so unique? Why does it differ from other tropical regions rich in species and ecosystems? Analysis shows that the reason lies in exceptional isolation. This island has been separated from the mainland for millions of years, as if locked in its own time and space. Its ecosystem has not been subjected to large-scale species migrations. There have been no mass movements that could lead to a mixing of species and the creation of more universal evolutionary lines. As a result, there is an incredible diversity of endemics found nowhere else. This is the reason for its uniqueness. Natural isolation has turned into a kind of evolutionary laboratory where species developed, adapted, and survived, creating a unique biological landscape. But this uniqueness is also a challenge. Time relentlessly carries away species. Entire ecosystems disappear. Many rare and valuable species are endangered, and their fate is a mirror of our responsibility, our understanding of the value of this natural wealth. Why is Madagascar's biodiversity so important to the world? Because it is not just a local phenomenon, not only evidence of evolution, it is part of the global balance, part of the common heritage of humanity. And anyone who decides to delve into this amazing world, who discovers its secrets, will understand astonishing discoveries await those who dare to explore this natural paradise. So what makes Madagascar truly special? Why is its biological heritage not just a list of species, but a real mystery of nature that we must preserve? The answer lies in the fact that this island is living proof of how isolation, time, and patience create a unique organism, where each species is a testament to the power of life, its ability to adapt and survive. It is a place where nature not only created beauty, but also gifted the world with keys to understanding evolution, to conservation and respect for what makes our world truly amazing. And who knows what other secrets are hidden in the depths of its forests, jungles, and plains? What discoveries await those who dare to tread the paths leading to the heart of this astonishing natural world? What legends and mysteries are held within each branch, each plant, each creature? This is the meaning of the journey. Not just to see, but to understand, to feel, to become part of this living, breathing organism. Because it is here, among the greenery and the wind, among the ancient voices of nature, that understanding is born. We are part of this world, and it is part of us. On the expanse where the ocean meets the horizon, where the wind whispers ancient legends, and the scent of salt intertwines with the aromas of tropical flowers, lies an island shrouded in mysteries and traditions, as if an invisible net covers its surface. This island is not just a place on the map. It is a living organism, a keeper of memory, a testament to cultural uniqueness that has been shaped over centuries in the embrace of nature and the trials of time. Its history holds evidence that faith, rituals, and ancient practices have not just survived the ages here. They live, breathe, and define the destinies of its inhabitants. Here, religion is an inseparable part of existence, woven into the fabric of life of every person, every home, every stone. The main religions found on this island are like mirrors reflecting a complex mosaic of beliefs. Animism, perhaps, holds a special place in the heart of this people. A belief in the spirits of nature, in ancestral spirits, in the power of invisible forces that govern the fates and destinies of the land. Time flows here by its own laws, and every mountain, every tree bears witness to ancient rituals and mystical ceremonies that connect man with his roots, with the past, with the unseen world. But it is not only animism that gives the island its uniqueness. Catholicism, Protestantism, and Islam, religions that arrived here through the centuries, through ports and trade routes, through conquests and migrations, are like additions, like new colors added to an ancient palette. In their sanctuaries, people gather to find solace, to find meaning in complex destinies, in the struggle with fateful challenges. Yet even among this diversity, most inhabitants adhere to animism. It is their inner voice, their connection with nature and ancestors. It is this inner voice that manifests in special ceremonies, those that evoke awe and respect in everyone who hears them. Chief among them is the Fadina ceremony, which has become a treasure trove of memory and a symbol of unity. It is not just a ritual. It is a living legend that each time reveals new facets of connection with ancestor and nature. It is held infrequently, only once every few years, but each time it gathers the entire community, from elders to the young, from the wise to those just beginning to understand their spiritual essence. When the crowd gathers at dawn, the air fills with the aromas of incense, the scents of tropical flowers, and the freshness of the ocean. At the center is a place where pits are dug, from which the remains of the recently deceased are carefully extracted. Testimonies of the past, testimonies of ancestors left in the earth, all of this is brought to the surface. The process of purification is not just a ritual, but a symbol of rebirth, cleansing of the soul and body, a return to the origins. The remains are meticulously washed, wrapped in cloths soaked in incense, and begin their journey back to the earth, to its embrace. But before this, music plays that seems to bring the past to life, and dances express gratitude, respect, and connection with ancestors. These rites are not only an act of memory, but also an expression of deep respect for nature. In every movement, in every sound, in every gesture lies the understanding that man is a part of this world, part of natural cycles, part of the spiritual forces governing destiny. The connection with nature here is not theory but practical reality. The winds, the sound of the waves, the whisper of the trees, all these are evidence that traditional rituals have not just survived through the centuries. They live on, infusing every moment of the islanders' existence with meaning and harmony. But the question arises, how do these ancient rituals and beliefs affect modern society? In an era of globalization, where technology erases boundaries and culture becomes increasingly homogenized, are these traditions preserved? Or do they risk disappearing, dissolving in the flow of new values and habits? How important is it for the islanders to maintain a connection with the past? And what does it mean for the future? These questions are not merely intellectual. They are as alive as the earth beneath one's feet, as the breath of every person who has absorbed the history of their ancestors. For modernity is not only about progress and innovation, it is also a challenge to the guardians of traditions. And right here, in the heart of this island, the answer resounds. History holds evidence that faith and rituals have not just survived the centuries. They shape identity, serve as a support in turbulent times, and provide the strength to move forward without forgetting one's roots. They are either shackles or wings, depending on who perceives them and how. But one thing is clear. In an era of global change, this island continues to guard its mystery, its spiritual depth, its legends, which will continue to resonate in the hearts of those who dare to listen. And when the last light disappears beyond the horizon, and the nights are filled with the rustling of the wind and the glow of the stars, it becomes clear. These ancient practices are not just rituals. They are a living memory that has not allowed this place to vanish into oblivion, and everyone who steps onto its soil feels this is not just an island. It is a temple of time, where the past and present have woven into a single entity, creating a unique symbiosis that continues to live today, despite everything. On the shores where waves crash against shifting sands and rocky cliffs stretches Madagascar, an island whose history holds not only the vibrant colors of nature, but also the dark shadows of a past filled with adventures, blood, and intrigues. Here, among the winding coastlines and dense jungles, time seems to have paused in the eras of pirates, royal courts, and the struggle for independence. In every stone, in every whisper of the wind, there is a legend of people who left behind traces so deep and mysterious that even centuries later, they evoke awe in researchers and travelers. As the sun slowly rises over the horizon, it illuminates not only lush landscapes but also ancient maps, codes, and treasures that elude the understanding of the modern mind. In the 15th to 19th centuries, Madagascar was not just an island but a true arena for pirate expeditions, a refuge for outlaws seeking freedom and wealth. The winding bays and numerous islands created ideal conditions for those seeking escape from pursuit, for those dreaming of treasures hidden beneath layers of sand or behind mysterious codes. Here, among the sea foam and wind, the legend of pirates who considered these waters their second home was born. One of the most famous heroes of these maritime legends was Olivier Levasseur, a figure shrouded in mystery and myths. His name is a symbol of enigmas, hidden treasures, and encrypted messages. It is said that he left behind manuscripts full of ciphers that remain unsolved to this day. Evidence of his existence includes ancient maps found in forgotten chests, the whisper of the wind in the ruins of abandoned ports, and shadows flickering against the sunset. These historical witnesses tell that piracy in Madagascar was not just a crime, it was a way of life, a challenge to fate, a struggle for wealth and power. But the history of this island is not only about sea adventures. A significant turning point in its fate occurred at the beginning of the 19th century. Then, under the leadership of Queen Ranavalona I, Madagascar underwent an era of strict reforms and changes. Her reign lasted more than 30 years, a time when power and traditions clashed with new challenges. Majestic palaces and wooden temples have preserved the evidence of her reign, an era filled with the struggle to preserve culture and independence. History holds proof of how this woman, one of the few strong rulers in the region's history, tried to hold her people together in the face of internal and external enemies. Yet, even in the era of strong rulers, the fate of Madagascar was closely tied to the colonial ambitions of France. Colonization began at the end of the 19th century, when European powers, driven by greed and the desire for expansion, saw this island as a strategic point in the Indian Ocean. In 1897, France officially declared its control over the island, beginning an era of colonial rule that left a deep mark on the culture, architecture, and society of Madagascar. Over the following decades, the country endured difficult times, a struggle for its identity, resistance to colonial oppression, and only in the mid-20th century, in 1960, did Madagascar achieve its long-awaited independence, starting a new chapter in its history. Yet why have the stories of pirates, royal rulers, and the fight for freedom become so deeply woven into the cultural heritage of this island? Why do these legends still live on in the words of the locals, and in every pattern of traditional fabrics. The answer lies in the fact that each era left its mark on the soul of the people. Pirate legends are not just stories of treasures and sea battles, but a symbol of the fight for freedom, for the right to determine one's destiny. Queens and kings are testimonies to resilience and traditional strength inherited from ancient times. The colonial period is a reminder of the struggle for national identity, the value of freedom and sovereignty. This rich history is like a fabric woven from threads of legends and testimonies. It hides secrets, mysteries, and unsolved ciphers that continue to allure adventurers. What treasures lie hidden beneath the layers of sand in abandoned coves? What whispers of the wind are preserved in the ruins of old ports? What secrets are held within ancient manuscripts left by pirates? And what legends speak of a queen who tried to preserve her land? The history of Madagascar is not just a chronicle of events. It is a living organism filled with contradictions and passions, voices of the past that demand to be heard. As we delve deeper into this era, there is a sense that every place is a testament to the fact that time flows differently here. Stones that have withstood centuries whisper of wars and peaceful days, of love and betrayal, of hopes and disappointments. Each wave crashing against the shore is a reminder of the endless struggle for freedom, of those who fought for their place in this world. And in every glance of the locals is the reflection of stories passed down from generation to generation. Testimonies that this land is not just a point on a map, but a living monument to epochs full of drama and legends. So why has this history become so deeply intertwined with Madagascar's cultural heritage? Because within it lies the essence of its spirit. It bears witness to the resilience and courage of its people. It holds lessons that do not fade with time, but remain alive, reminding us that even in the darkest times, there is a light of hope. And what secrets does this rich history conceal? What other mysteries await their time to be revealed? In every stone, in every whisper of the wind, there are answers worthy of those who dare to look into the depths of this ancient island. For the history of Madagascar is not just the past. It is a mirror of the present and a warning for the future. And each of its legends is a thread connecting the centuries, making this island a place where the past lives in every breath of wind, in every movement of the people. Under the palms, in the shade of sprawling trees, nothing seems to foretell disaster. But behind this tranquil picture lies another reality, one that shapes the destiny of Madagascar, its landscape, its people, its spirit. Here, on this remote island, where tropical winds whisper of ancient legends, no fewer than 500 earthquakes occur annually. They are like invisible witnesses to the secret struggle of the Earth's forces, moving in the depths, recognizing no boundaries or peace. And although Madagascar is far from classic tectonic faults, its land trembles as if obeying its own laws, created by the thin shell that separates it from eternal calm. When analysis shows that the crust of this island is like a fragile shell, thin and vulnerable, it becomes clear why earthquakes are not uncommon here. It's all about the active mantle, which, like a boiling cauldron inside the earth, rises and falls, creating a mountainous terrain covered in greenery that seems motionless but hides danger beneath. The mountain peaks, often shrouded in mist, are witnesses to this internal tension, this endless conflict between calm and eruption. Each earthquake is a story told by the earth, a testament to its internal struggle. They are felt in every corner of the island, in the cracks on the streets, in broken homes, in fractured bridges. People know their lives are a constant balance between the familiar rhythm and sudden threat. In rural settlements, where traditional houses made of bamboo and clay seem fragile, earthquakes become trials that require not only strength, but also wisdom. In cities, where infrastructure adheres to modern standards, each tremor is a reminder of the fragility of human achievement, of how thin the line is between safety and catastrophe. These natural cataclysms not only cause destruction, they make their own adjustments to the island's development, shaping its infrastructure and the way of life of its people. The locals, accustomed to constant alarms, tell legends of earth gods that can awaken at any moment. Their traditional beliefs are an attempt to understand and accept the force that governs their fate. The constant sense of danger is embedded in cultural codes, customs, and architecture. In old villages, houses are built to withstand minor shocks, while in cities, modern technologies are implemented to minimize consequences. And yet, despite these measures, the question remains, how do natural earthquakes shape the face and fate of Madagascar? The depth of this influence is not limited to destruction. It permeates every aspect of life, every tradition, every decision. Can people live in harmony with a force capable of destroying everything in an instant? Or is their fate constant resistance, a continuous search for balance between nature and human efforts? This is the main conflict that defines not only architecture and infrastructure, but also the inner world of the people. In every cracked house, in every new reinforcement plan, in every premonition of a new threat, there is a reflection of this struggle. Analysis shows that on the island, where nature and humans constantly interact under conditions of danger, a special type of culture is formed, a culture of survival, adaptation, and respect for the power of the earth. In this context, every step taken is not only protection, but also an acknowledgement of the force that governs their fate. Local traditions, rituals, and ceremonies are not only ancient customs but also symbols of the struggle against the elements, evidence that humans, even in their vulnerability, can seek harmony and meaning in chaos. History holds evidence, testimonies of earthquakes, hurricanes, avalanches, and these testimonies shape the island's unique visage. Mountains that seem to rise into the sky, full of cracks and fissures, are monuments to nature's struggle. The narrow streets of old towns, built from materials capable of withstanding the tests of time and elements, reflect the wisdom of generations. Every crack is a reminder that the earth is not conquered, that its power is both a source of danger and a source of life. Madagascar is a place where natural disasters not only shape the landscape and architecture, but also permeate the very fabric of culture. They become part of legends, part of national identity, and therein lies its uniqueness, in the people's ability to preserve their soul despite the constant threat of destruction. For, as the stories attest, it is in the struggle against nature that true resilience is born, and in understanding its power, wisdom. What is being done today? What protective measures, what innovations are being implemented to mitigate the consequences of this constant trial? The answers to these questions are yet another chapter of the struggle, another page in the history book of Madagascar. But the main thing is not only technical solutions. It is the belief that in the heart of every resident, there is the strength to accept the challenge, to understand the lessons of the earth, that their fate is not only in the hands of nature, but also in their own. This is the main question. Can they preserve their unique nature and culture in the face of constant earthly upheavals? And the answer seems to lie in their spirit, in the ability to live, love, and fight when the ground beneath their feet cracks and rumbles. On this island, where history and nature intertwine in a complex pattern, earthquakes are not only catastrophes, they are witnesses to the inner strength of the people, their struggle for survival, for the preservation of heritage. And each new tremor is a reminder that no civilization can fully control the power of nature. All that remains is to learn to listen to it, respect it, and fight for their future, not forgetting that it is from chaos that new life, new legends, new hopes are born. On the world map, there are places that are like hidden eyes, closely watching the fate of humanity. In these corners, nature and history are so closely intertwined that their fate becomes a mirror for all of humanity. One such place is a country about which little is known beyond its borders, but which holds secrets that make one ponder the very essence of development, about why the wealth of nature does not always turn into the wealth of the people. This country is like an ancient temple, covered with moss and the dust of time, waiting for centuries for someone to unlock its secrets. Its economic map is not just a set of numbers and facts. It is a story of struggle with itself, with natural resources, and with its people. The economy here is based on agriculture and raw materials, these two pillars on which most lives and hopes rest. Within this mechanism lies wealth, sparkling in the chests of the earth and on the shelves of farmers, shops, but which, as if trapped in a glass jar, does not allow the country to break free from the vicious circle of poverty. It all starts with simple facts. The income level per person barely reaching $522 a year. This is what the average resident of this land earns, and this money is only a shadow of what nature could provide. In their economic space, there is agriculture, nourished by sun and rain, and raw materials that are sent abroad, leaving only remnants behind. Vanilla is an astonishing story of this country, as it produces more than half of the world's supply of fragrant beans, a sweet, rich scent associated with luxury and dreams. But behind this sweetness lie facts. The country that supplies vanilla to the global market itself suffers from poverty, instability, and lack of investment. Its gold, nickel, and cobalt are testimonies to the wealth beneath its feet, yet they bring nothing but fears and conflicts to its impoverished people. The history of this land is a chronicle of limitations and resistance. For centuries, development has been hindered by trade regulations, bureaucracy, and poverty. In the past, during the colonial era, the country's wealth was extracted completely, leaving behind only ruins and legends of unattainable luxury. Today, this legacy continues with ongoing distrust, corruption, and injustice. Economic challenges are not just numbers. They are a struggle for the ability to manage one's resources, for the right to development, for a future where resources serve the people, not their exploiters. And yet, the main enigma is why, despite the wealth of natural resources, the country remains poor. Why do millions of its residents fight for each day, for every crumb of bread? The answer lies in a complex interconnection, in a system that prevents resources from being beneficial. This is not only an economic problem but also a cultural and political one. A high birth rate is another factor that increases pressure on an already burdened infrastructure. Every woman in this country is like a bearer not only of life, but also of the challenge the state faces. About 4 children per woman is not just a statistic, it is an indicator that speaks volumes of social instability, lack of access to education and healthcare, of hope for a future that still seems unattainable. Here, in this country, the facts testify to a contradiction: the wealth of resources and the poverty of the people. These contradictions are not accidental, but a consequence of a system that has long ignored internal needs and priorities. Development is limited not only by external circumstances but also by internal injustice. The absence of structures capable of transforming natural wealth into real benefits. The country seems to stand at a crossroads. On one side, the wealth of the earth. On the other, the poverty and despair of millions. History holds evidence that without systemic changes and new approaches, even the most valuable resources cannot become a driver of progress. The problem is that natural wealth often turns out to be a curse rather than a blessing. Analysis shows that the country, possessing riches, does not know how to derive maximum benefit from them. Internal barriers, corruption, and lack of investment turn resources into merely a source of profit for a narrow circle of individuals, while the majority of the population is left with nothing. An economy based on raw materials is like a house built from wood that will soon rot. From time to time, initiatives and promises of reform emerge, but everything remains within the realm of illusions. Wealth grows, but poverty does not diminish. Thus, the question arises, why? Why, despite all the evidence of wealth, is the country still searching for its path? Perhaps the reason is that natural resources, instead of becoming the foundation for development, have become a source of conflicts and divisions. Perhaps wealth is not only a cause, but also a consequence of deep, internal contradictions that need to be overcome. The history of this nation speaks of struggle, of attempts to find a balance between wealth and justice, between opportunity and power. But so far, the balance has not been found. And the more wealth there is, the stronger the feeling that it does not bring the desired changes. Meanwhile, in this joyless cycle, there is an important meaning. On the surface are the questions: what to do? What steps to take to break out of this vicious circle? Perhaps the answer lies elsewhere, in rethinking the very idea of wealth, in seeking new paths of development based not only on raw materials, but also on people, their knowledge, and dreams. The questions remain open, and it is they that prompt reflection. How to use the wealth of natural resources so that it serves the people, not the other way around. How to transform this potential into real change, into development that does not destroy but creates. For it is here, in this distant land, that an important lesson for the whole world is hidden. History holds evidence that wealth is not only the presence of resources, but the ability to use them correctly. And if the country can take this step, it will not only break out of the vicious circle but also become an example for others. No matter the difficulties along the way, there is still hope. At its heart is faith in the possibility of change. In its destiny is the chance to become not just a country with riches, but a country with a future. This place is a reminder that true wealth is not in the reserves of minerals or currency reserves, but in people, their dreams, and patience. And only by going through trials, accepting challenges, and realizing its strength can this country achieve the harmony that has long eluded its grasp. Time will tell if it can take the step, overcome its internal barriers, and turn natural wealth into a source of prosperity. Time is its only ally and main adversary. But history, as a witness of the past, suggests even the darkest times can yield to light if there is desire and faith. And perhaps right now, in this distant land, a new dawn is emerging that will open the doors to true development, not in words, but in deeds. Madagascar is not just an island in the middle of the Indian Ocean. It is a place where time seems to stand still in the embrace of ancient legends and continuous transformations. Its land holds evidence of millennia-old stories, and its nature, unique testimonies of evolution found nowhere else on the planet. Here, among dense tropical forests and endless plains, traditions rooted in deep antiquity meet a unique flora and fauna that seem like a living reminder of another world, a world where every leaf, every cave, every sound is filled with meaning hidden over millennia. A journey to Madagascar is not just a movement from point A to point B. It is an immersion into the heart of a mysterious island, where every path, every tree, every encounter can open new horizons of understanding. Imagine the morning slowly awakening in Antananarivo, the capital, where the scent of freshly brewed coffee blends with the aroma of spicy spices, and the streets fill with the sounds of vendors shouting their wares, and the voices of locals filled with history and hope. Here you can feel the pulse of life that beats in every alley, in every glance, in every gesture. But Madagascar is not just a city. It is the heart of nature, where giant baobabs, like ancient guardians of time, tower over the savannas. Their massive trunks, covered with warts and cracks, tell legends of hundreds of years of life, of winds that shook their bark, and of times when these trees witnessed the arrival of the first people. And in the jungles, hidden under thick foliage, live lemurs, creatures that look like living illustrations from a fairy tale. Their leaps, like a dance between branches, their eyes full of mysterious wisdom, are evidence that these forests hold the secret of an entire era of evolution. Historical legends, passed down from generation to generation, complement this living picture. It is said that ancient kings and shamans lived on this island, whose magical rituals and secrets are still shrouded in the mists of time. Archaeological evidence suggests that Madagascar was an important center of ancient cultures, where paths of trade, knowledge, and beliefs intertwined. These traditions are alive even today, manifesting in vibrant festivals, in rituals, in art passed down through generations. Their bright masks, colorful costumes, and ritual dances, all are testimonies of the living memory of the people, their connection with nature and ancestors. But what makes Madagascar truly special? What is its uniqueness that should capture your attention and change your perception of the world? Analysis shows that this island is not just a place where rare nature has been preserved. It is a living testimony to the power of time, its unchanging ability to preserve what other corners of the planet have long lost. Its biodiversity is among the richest on Earth. In the tropical forests dwell species found nowhere else. Their existence is proof that nature is capable of remarkable transformations, creating new forms of life that over time become part of legends and myths. Yet, despite its wealth and beauty, Madagascar faces challenges. The age of globalization, deforestation, climate change, threats that could destroy its unique ecosystems and cultural heritage. In this context, its preservation becomes a matter not only for local authorities, but for the entire world. Preserving this place is not just an obligation, it is a duty to future generations. Time marches on, and history shows that without collective efforts, the disappearance of unique natural and cultural treasures becomes only a matter of time. So why does Madagascar deserve your attention? Because it is not just an island. It is a living museum of nature and culture, a unique corner where every path, every stone, every legend is a testament to human resilience and natural magic. It is a place that can change your perception of the world, broaden your horizons, and remind you of the importance of preserving what makes our planet unique. Are you ready to embark on an adventure? Ready to uncover the mysteries of the enigmatic island? To smell its forests and hear the whispers of ancient legends? Madagascar awaits those who are not afraid to look beyond the horizon, those who are ready to become part of its history, its myths, and its present. Its nature and culture are both a challenge and an invitation. The time for discovery is now. The time for a journey into the heart of extraordinary Madagascar.